So we're here at the venue at Daisy Hill. This is in Fayetteville, Georgia. This is an amazing looking venue. So we're gonna jump right into bride preps, groom preps, first look, and candids. This pre-ceremony is really important because this is gonna account for about 30% of your film. We need this creative eye candy. This is gonna be one of the only times during the day where you're gonna have full control creatively over what you're doing. When you're at the ceremony, you don't really have that much control. When you're at the reception, you have limited control. But for pre-ceremony, you kind of have like full control creatively. So we have to take advantage of this. So it used to be when I used to come into bride preps, I would just spend too much time with the bride. And when I left the wedding, I'd end up with about 200 very usable, very beautiful shots of the bride doing the makeup and the hair, but I was only using like maybe 8 or 10 in the film. So it was really a waste of my time. I needed a variety of content. So I said, you know what? Maybe I'm just gonna get the final touches because that's all I was really using in the film anyways. Maybe I'll start focusing on other things like details. So right now, I want to go over to the makeup artist and just kind of get some intel, and I'm going to ask some questions. Hi, how are you? Good. I'm videoing the wedding today. I just want to get a sense of your timing. How long do you normally take with the bride's makeup?
It's going to take me 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay, so about 45 minutes to an hour. Would you mind if just for the final touches, we could move the bride over to the natural light and I'll just get a little bit of blush, a little bit of lips, and maybe some eyeshadow?
That's totally fine.
Is that cool with you?
Natural light works great for the makeup.
Okay, perfect. And I'll put you in a situation where the lighting is nice and even and soft.
That'll be great because that way we can see how she's going to look outside.
That's perfect. Okay, now remember, the makeup artist still has a job to do, so you don't want to put the makeup artist in a very challenging, dramatic lighting situation next to the window. You don't have to do that right away. I want 10 to 15 minutes of just clean shots with beautiful natural light, and maybe towards the end, maybe like the last couple minutes, the makeup artist will let you play a little bit, and maybe I can turn her in the chair where the lighting's maybe a little bit more dramatic or whatnot, and it really doesn't affect your job too much?
Not at all.
Okay, perfect. So the makeup artist is really cool. I'm really happy. Once it gets close to doing the final touches, what I want to do is I want to start to get rid of some of this lighting that's going on in the room with the different color temperatures. I just want to deal with the natural light. That's what's going to make the bride look the best. So it's all about negotiation, make it fair for the makeup artist, and then you've just hit a home run because I promise you, all the shots that we're going to get with the window light are going to be unbelievable. So maybe I'll focus on details right now, but I also want to ask some questions. So I have the maid of honor, who generally will give a speech at the reception. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm the videographer for today. My name is Ray, nice to meet you. Are you giving a speech tonight?
Yes, I am.
Okay, have you written the speech?
No, not yet.
Okay, just before you write that speech, I want to be able to get some shots of that. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. It'll be quick and easy, but I want to put you over by the natural light so everything looks really good.
Yeah.
That's cool?
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, do you know if they're going to be sending a gift over to the groom?
Yes, it will be.
But they haven't sent it yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, just before they send it over, just let me know.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, so look, we're hunting for content here. This is all about content for the film. If I don't ask these questions, I'm probably going to miss out on all this very interesting content between her actually writing her speech, which I can tie in to her actually giving her speech at the reception in the film. They're also going to give a gift to the groom. I'm going to call my second shooter who's with the groom and I'm going to let her know, and vice versa. So if there's a gift coming from the groom to the bride, I want to know about it, okay? I'm going to be filming the receiving end of that with the bride, and that's going to be additional content for the film. Now, I've already negotiated with the makeup artist. She's going to give me an amazing situation for the final touches. I'm feeling good, and I still have another about 70 minutes in here, okay, before the bride has to leave. So I have plenty of time. I can breathe, I can visualize my shots, I can check out the room, I can study angles with the light. I've got Anthony here and we're ready to jump into details. So we're gonna get into details. I have the slider set up here. As I mentioned before, I saw some shoes, a tiara, some earrings. I'm gonna shoot that now. So I'm gonna transition from the monopod to the slider. But before I shoot it, I wanna kind of arrange this so it looks a little bit better for this slider shot. So I'll kind of create a set. This looks pretty good. And I saw a veil over here hanging on the chair. We're actually gonna make that part of the shot here. I can actually use the veil, which is an amazing wedding detail, as the canvas for this slider shot. And that looks great. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk to the makeup artist really quick. Would you mind if I turned off some of these LED lights and the tungsten lights and things like that for about 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Right.
You have enough lighting over here to work?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
Now, what if you have a situation where maybe you don't have enough natural light coming into this room, or you're not able to turn off these artificial lights? You can't give up at that point. So what I'll do is I'll scout around the property and I'll look for something that's obviously not too far from the bride getting ready room, right? But I'm gonna look for something definitely that's got some natural light coming through. And sometimes, you know what, it might just be a hallway, it might be another room, it might even be a suite that they're not using that's got some beautiful windows with some nice natural light coming through there. And remember, I only need like 5 or 6 minutes to get these shots done, but I definitely want those shots done in stunning natural light. Now, when I find a room like that, I don't just have to wait like an hour for the bride to come over and do the final touch shots. I'm gonna use those same locations to do all my detail shots. I might get some dress shots in there, I'll get the ring shots, the invitations, but it's gonna be a nice, beautiful, stunning, natural light. And that's what we're going for.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get rid of some of this unwanted lamp light. Anthony, can you turn off the lights? And now that looks great, because now I'm just dealing with natural light. Now the problem here is I don't think I have enough natural light. So I'm gonna have Anthony come in with LED light, and he's just gonna give me some fill. The LED light that he's using is really, really good. It's gonna give us tungsten if we need it, but he can also change the color temperature to daylight if we need that. So here's Anthony, he's gonna throw me some daylight while I program this shot. This slider is really cool because I can program all my shots and I can essentially do slider movements without actually having to touch the slider. So I'm gonna make sure this is on and I'm gonna start framing up my shot here. Make sure your color temperature is at 5600 if you're working with daylight, and I'm liking this already. Just make sure you're properly exposed. And I'm probably gonna just push in a little bit more. I wanna get some of that detail on the shoes. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of track these shoes. I wanna keep the tips of those shoes constantly in focus.
So what if you don't have a camera that has this autofocus tracking feature? You're gonna have to manually focus. But the problem with manually focusing is that you might create some shake if you've got your hand on the lens and you're trying to maintain that focus. So in that case, what you might be able to do is stop down a little bit. Instead of filming too shallow, say like at 1.2 or 1.8, maybe you're gonna be at 4.0 or 5.6 if you wanna stay in focus throughout the movement.
And now I'm gonna set, with this remote, I'm gonna be able to set my in point, which we'll do right now. And I can actually turn this in, and I'll keep that shoe in frame. And then I'm gonna set my out point. I have the out point, and now I'm gonna set the duration to about 17 seconds. I don't want anything too fast. I want it nice and slow. Now remember, if you film nice and slow, you can always ramp it up in post if need be. The most important thing here, obviously, is gonna be your focus and exposure. Anthony, can you push the light in just a little bit? And now that's looking pretty good. And hold that for me. And now we're gonna start the movement. And now this is gonna take about 17 seconds to get from left to right. It's focusing on the tip of the shoe. That looks good. Maybe it's gonna fish a little bit. And I'll just kind of help it out. And this is why I loop it. So if the left to right didn't work, maybe the right to left is gonna work, and I can always reverse it in post. That looks good. It's still maintaining focus. I think this is gonna be a home run. And that looks great. Okay, so I have that shot. I can stop it, and maybe I can shoot something else, or I can look for the wedding dress and start getting some wedding dress shots.
Now let's talk about shooting the bride's dress or the groom's suit, or maybe if it's a same-sex wedding, you have two suits or two dresses, whatever the case may be. But the important thing is we're always looking for nice, beautiful, natural light. So when we get to the venue, we want to be able to scout the property and look for the location that maybe we'll be able to hang a dress or hang a suit. You also have to consider your backgrounds. You don't want to be shooting a white dress against a white background because there's really not enough contrast and it's just going to look really bland. Same thing with like a dark suit. You don't want to shoot a dark suit against a dark background. So you kind of want to shoot light on dark and dark on light. You know, you should always think along those lines. The key here is to be different. You want to challenge yourself to be as creative as possible. You have all this time that you're in bride preps. Take advantage, think outside the box. Take that time and look for a location that's different. You know, it's stunning. I mean, you can have beautiful light, beautiful background. You have gorgeous details. Now you're just gonna have stunning imagery for your film.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into final touches with the bride, doing her makeup, and I'm gonna come over here and just talk to the makeup artist. Is it okay if we do the final touches now?
We're ready for that.
All right, awesome. So I just need a little bit of blush, some lipstick, and maybe some eyeshadow. That's awesome. So while you get your things together, I'm just gonna take this chair and position it where I need it. All right, awesome. So makeup artist is like really cool, which is a great thing. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take this chair and I'm gonna position it where I need it next to the natural light. I also have to clean this area. I've looked at my angles and these chairs are gonna kind of be in the way. So we'll just play cleanup really quick. Once you're at this point and they're getting ready to do final touches and the bride's getting ready to get in her dress, this is crunch time here. This is really where you're gonna be getting all your money shots. At this point, it's all about the bride. So if there's still people doing hair and makeup and things like that, I'm sorry, but the bad lights gotta go. And this is literally all about the bride at this point. So you have to kind of look at the room and visualize it a little bit, because I don't just want one or two shots. I want probably like 30 or 40 shots. Really stunning shots of the bride doing final touches and getting in her dress. So I'm gonna kind of look at the room, I'm gonna assess the light, and a lot of times you can just kind of take your hand and you can look at the way the light is hitting your hand in one direction, and then maybe go like this and see how the light's hitting your hand in the other direction. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna grab this high chair, because it's gonna give me the best light, and I'm gonna actually position her towards the better light. Now I'm gonna move this out of the way. I also have a mirror here. Mirrors are always great because you're always looking to add interest to your shots. If I have any reflective surfaces, I'm looking for that, because I don't just want really basic, boring shots of the bride doing the final touches and getting in the dress. I kind of want to mix it up. I want to look for some foreground, some reflective surfaces. I want to add some interest to these shots. I don't want them to be boring. So remember this, you don't want to take the basic, boring shot, the predictable shot. You always want to think outside the box and come up with a shot that's going to be very interesting, a shot that's going to be your own. So I've set the chair, and now we're gonna get into final touches with our bride, Katie. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm so excited. How are you?
Good, good, good. So I'm gonna have you sit here,
Okay.
and I just want you to relax, just be yourself. You never have to look into my lens,
Okay.
and just enjoy the final touches.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, when I have you there, I kinda want you looking in this direction here.
All right.
So I can give the bride some instructions. Also, I'm gonna have a conversation with the makeup artist, so she understands what I need. Is it possible when you do the final touches that you can either be on her left or on her right, so you're not blocking the light? That's cool?
I think the right
The right's gonna be better for you?
is that good?
That's amazing for me. Okay, awesome. So very, very important. It makes no sense to have Katie in front of the light if the makeup artist is going to be standing directly in front of her, kind of blocking the light. So it's my preference to have the makeup artist either on the left or on the right. Hopefully they'll be able to work like that. I've got the bride set up for final touches, and I'm going to look here. I have the makeup artist on her right side, and you're not going to block the light. Right? Okay. And what are you doing now? You're doing some lips? Okay, so let me get a little bit of that. Remember, guys, exposure is really important here. Do not blow out these images. They look too good. And go in with a brush. And we're looking for content here. And remember, I only film like 3 to 5 seconds because in post, you're never going to use any shots longer than 3 to 5 seconds unless there's dialogue attached to it, okay? Here, there's no dialogue. This looks great. So here, what I can do is I can hold a solid shot for 3 to 5 seconds, go in with a brush. That looks awesome. And guess what? Now I can do a push in. And now I've got 2 shots. And guess what? Now I'm gonna have a 3rd shot because I'm gonna go in tight to the lips. 3 to 5 seconds and we're done. Okay, don't waste too much time. Now I've got a mirror here. I can catch a little reflective shot off the mirror. And I'm loving this. This is just eye candy for the film. This looks amazing. My exposure's on point. There's no junk in the background. The bride's nice and happy. And that's really, really good content. So I'm gonna ask the makeup artist, what do you have left? Any blush? Okay, so we can do some blush. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna change position and I'm gonna kind of look around for anything kind of interesting. I know that if the makeup artist is here, I can use the makeup artist as good foreground. So we're gonna see how that looks when the makeup artist comes back. And she's getting her things together. Katie, how do you feel?
Excited.
Are you excited to get married?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank
All right.
you for being here.
Hey, my pleasure, my honor.
I can't wait to see the film.
Oh, not too fast. You gotta give me some time. Okay. So she's got the palette here. I can create a sequence here where she's dabbing into the palette, just like this, and then I can pan up and I get this really cool shot of her actually applying the blush. So I've already got 2 shots. And I'm creating little mini sequences. What I like to do is instead of just coming into a room and just shooting kind of like the same compositions, medium shot, medium shot, medium shot, medium shot, I want to come in here medium. Go ahead and put the blush. There you go. And I want the action of the blush coming into the frame. That's gonna be really interesting. And that's gonna allow me to now come in tight. And now I'm gonna get a tight shot of that blush. And then now, 3 to 5 seconds, maybe I'm gonna come in here to the palette and I'm gonna get that brush dabbing. This is really cool. So essentially, I've just created a little mini sequence. I've got a shot of the palette when the brush hits it. I have a medium shot of the brush coming into frame, and then I've got a tighter shot of the brush stroking the cheeks. Now, I can go a step further, and I can go wider now. And now I'm gonna have this beautiful wide shot, and this looks great. And I've actually got her veil in the background and all those details. So I'm really loving this, but guess what? I really want to complete this sequence. I want a shot of the makeup artist because the viewer knows that there's a brush, there's a bride, there's some makeup being applied, but who's applying it? You got to kind of tell a story to the viewer. So here I can come in and just get a nice little shot of the makeup artist. Push that in, and I can even transition over to the bride. Now you're gonna have to be really good with your focus to do these transitions, but anything's possible. Keep it interesting, okay? You have plenty of time. It's not a lot of time. How long are the final touches? Like 10 or 15 minutes?
Exactly.
10 or 15 minutes, so it's not a long time, but it's not a little bit of time. Not if you're shooting fast and you're being creative and you're following the concept of 3 to 5 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. It really is, at that point, a lot of time, okay? Right now I have a lot of very usable, beautiful shots, so I'm very happy at this point. And she's gonna keep going. And now I can get a different angle. My bride happens to have some incredible blue eyes, so I want to take advantage of this. So, Katie, I want you just looking right here, okay? And I'm gonna really want to see those eyes right now. And I'm gonna do a little push in. And that just looks amazing, okay? Now what I want you to do is, I want you just to look down and now look out the window. That looks amazing. Now, something I want to tell you guys. I actually call this area here the bride zone because I feel at some point during the day, everybody that's important to the bride is going to end up in the bride zone. It may be your mom, your aunt, your best friend, your maid of honor, one of the bridesmaids, one of your little nieces or nephews. They're all going to run up and they're going to say, oh my God, you look beautiful and things like that. So I don't really have to reach out to try to film anybody because I know at some point, everybody's coming over to the bride zone. So I kind of just hang out here. I've got a 35 lens on, but if I start to get more people in the frame, I'm always gonna have this 24-70 handy. And a lot of times what you're gonna have is, you're also gonna have maybe the father of the bride is gonna come in to see the bride for the first time in her dress and things like that. If I know that's gonna happen, I will have them hold the dad long enough for me to just switch lenses to the 24-70, and then I'm ready for the shot. And I want the dad to actually walk into the bride zone. I do not want the bride to walk to dad because if she walks from this bright light into the room to go see dad, she's gonna walk into an underexposed part of the room, which I do not want. So remember, let everything come in to your bride zone and you're always gonna have amazing looking light. So now we're gonna get Katie into her dress, but I just have some instructions for Katie. So Katie, you can stand up. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this chair out of the way. Now, I want you to get dressed. I want you to come out when you're decent, okay? I don't want you to finish up.
Okay.
Just whenever you're decent, I want you to come back out and I want you to stand in the same position, okay? So can you do that for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. She knows exactly where to stand because I gave her the reference, right? I did it myself, so she knows I want you to stand right here, and she stood right there. And now I have the same beautiful light hitting Katie, and I'm ready for her to get into her dress. So go back, get changed, and come out when you're ready.
All right, I'll see you soon.
All right. So the bride's gonna come back in her dress. Katie, you're gonna come in to frame and just stand right where I told you. A little bit closer to the window. Closer, closer, closer. Okay, cool. And give me side profile. That's great. And step forward. Okay, you see that spot right there?
Yeah.
I want you to walk into frame
Okay.
and just give me that. So I'm doing a little silhouette shot here. I'm gonna see how it comes out. And right there's fine. And now you can walk into frame. Kind of just spin into position there. I want to see your hair just kind of be beautiful. Awesome. That looks great. And play with your hair a little bit more. That looks great. This is all great stuff. Okay, so I'm going to come in. I'm going to talk to Katie. Katie, I just need you to back up into that position that I told you.
The first one.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to check the lighting. Katie's looking good. She's not completely dressed because I want that content, okay? So I'm gonna have the makeup artist come in. And before you zip that up, I wanna check my exposure. This is all about the bride right now. This is your candy. This looks amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and hit record. You're nice and happy. Okay, so one thing I wanna tell you. Sometimes when you're filming, you're gonna have a bride and she has a lot on her mind and her facial reaction might look a little bit serious, right? So I'll talk to the bride as I'm filming and I'll just say things like, nice and happy, just like this. And now I have a shot of a happy bride. Now you notice I didn't tell her, okay, smile, show me your teeth, or something that was unnatural. I just simply told her, be happy. Whatever she does by that trigger word, be happy, that's gonna be a natural reaction. That's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for natural stuff. I'm not looking for unnatural stuff, because maybe when she smiles, she's not used to showing teeth, or maybe when she smiles, she uses showing teeth. I don't really care about that stuff. I just want it to be 100% her, 100% natural. So I'm in here. I said, okay, this looks great. Nice and happy. And that's one of my favorite phrases, it's just nice and happy, nice and happy. If I'm filming and I'm getting everything I need, I don't say anything. I just let her be her. But if I'm seeing her with a little bit of a serious look, or I'm seeing the groom with a little bit of a serious look, I just tell him, I said, just be happy. And everything changes. Now it's 100% natural. Now she's thinking about her groom, and I've got an amazing shot going on. Now, one problem that I'm seeing here is that she's in a white dress and my background is white. And I don't really want that, but there's not really anything dark in the room. But there is this lamp. So I'm gonna get Anthony. Anthony, can you come in the frame? And just grab that lamp and plug it in there and position it in my background. Now, a lamp back there is gonna give me some really cool interest, and it's not gonna affect my shot, because that light from that lamp will not cast any colors onto the bride. So I'm not really worried about a mixed light situation. I just want to see how this looks if we kind of add that lamp into the background, okay? It gave me a little something. And now the makeup artist is going to come in, and she's just going to help her finish getting ready. I love this. And this is all natural stuff, guys. You just want to make sure that Katie's nice and happy, and she's always looking towards the window light. Towards the window. There you go. That looks great. You want Katie looking towards the window, because as soon as she looks into the room, she's going to be underexposed. So I don't want that shot. So Katie, always looking here. And you can kind of interact and things like that, but just don't stay there too long. I always want light hitting your face. Okay. And now I'm going to get this shot of you zipping up the dress. And now we're ready for the zip. And that's awesome. I can also see what this side looks like here. I want as many different shots as I can get. This is all about content. That looks amazing. Awesome. All right, so now I'm gonna talk to Katie, because she's gonna put on some jewelry, right? Can you put on your earrings by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanna get those shots, but the whole time that you're putting on your earrings, try to look this way, okay? Chin towards the light.
Sure.
All right, awesome. So we're gonna hand her the earrings there. Now when she gets these earrings, maybe I want to get a tight shot here, just to kind of create a little mini sequence like what we talked about. So I've actually got her being handed the earrings. This is cool. And now before you put that in, I'm gonna get you getting them ready in your hand. 3 to 5 seconds. And now I have all this additional content for this little mini sequence that I'm creating. Okay, when I tell you, I want you to put that earring in, okay?
Sure.
Okay, so now I'm controlling this. I'm controlling the speed, but you don't want to be too slow.
Okay.
You don't want Katie to get out of this mood. Okay? And go ahead and put those on. That looks really good. Okay, awesome. So she's got one earring in. I've got a really cool shot from that angle. Can you kind of just adjust it there? And now watch this. I can come in here 3 to 5 seconds and just get a different shot. And now I can actually do a little push in. If you want a shot, just let the bride know. Just be quick. If you need something, just ask. And now I'm gonna tuck down low and go ahead, Katie. That looks great. 3 to 5 seconds, and then we're ready to move. Okay, stay there. Stay there. Looking out the window. Stay there. And of course, you're nice and happy. Okay. I'll stay solid 3 to 5 seconds, and then hold that, Katie. Nice and happy. And then I'll do a nice little push in. Looking out the window. Awesome. So keep that actually. Okay, so she's taking a little bit with this earring. I love this because this gives me additional time to get another shot. Nice and tight. I'm loving what I have here. Katie, what else do you have?
We have the veil and we have the tiara.
You have the tiara. Okay, so I'm gonna have the makeup artist come in. Okay. And here we go. Now I want to be ready for this here. And go ahead. That looks amazing. And remember guys, once you have 3 to 5 seconds, just look at these emotions. This is crazy. Okay, awesome. And then I can also do a wide shot. Can you stay there just adjusting? That looks great. Try not to block the light. And that's awesome. And you can put your hands out. This looks great. And you don't always have to film the face so much. You don't have to be like face, face, face. I can come in here and she's actually got some stuff going on with her hands. She's clasping her hands. She's nice and happy. And then put your hands down to your side. That looks awesome. And then I can even come in here for a few seconds and just kind of tilt down on her dress. And that's going to give me some of this detail in her dress. Can you go ahead and adjust your midsection? That's awesome. Just make sure everything feels right. I love that. Now, what I just did was I gave her some direction to get some natural movement going. So I said, just adjust your midsection, make sure the dress is perfect. So what naturally happened? She brought her hands up and she started kind of just pressing her dress around. Now, since you're not going to hear my voice in the film, you're actually going to think this happened naturally. Now we're going to try this again, and I'm going to be focused in on her midsection. And go ahead and just work out some of those wrinkles on your midsection area. Make sure your dress is nice and perfect. I'm loving this. Right to your midsection. Just kind of, yep. Now we're going to move into the veil. So for this shot, I'm actually going to bring in, so it's not difficult for the makeup artist, I'm going to bring in a lovely chair. I'll help you with this. And Katie, just back up a second. And now I'm going to have Katie sit down. And we're ready to roll on this. Now before you put that on, give me 1 second. Just want to frame this up. Katie's looking really happy. I'm loving these shots. And chin down a little bit, right there. Okay, and now come in with a veil. That looks great. Okay, 3 to 5 seconds. I can move around here, grab some different shots. Hold on, before you lift that, I want you to do that lift again. Okay, so I'm seeing some stuff here that looks really nice. Right, go ahead and lift that, nice and slow. One more time. Everything's already done. This is all about the bride and getting some major eye candy for the film. So now it's time just to be creative. This looks amazing. And pull the veil forward. Oh, I love that. Okay, perfect. And now I can even do a little push in here through the veil to the bride's face. And now just bring your hand right about there. That's perfect. And I'm really loving these shots here. I'm using the veil. And I can do a reveal on the bride. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to come around this side, see if I can get any additional content. Maybe I just get a couple more shots. That looks great. I'll get one more, kind of just making good use of this mirror. And can you kind of wrap the veil around her a little bit more? Whatever you need, just kind of ask for it. This is only a couple of minutes. That looks great. Okay, so Katie, I'm going to get you to stand up. And then I'm going to move this chair out of the way. And just stand there where I had you before, just looking out the window. And now maybe I'll just get a couple portrait shots. And I'm going to actually have you stand a little bit further that way. Right about there. That looks great. Okay. It's a little bit crunched in right here, but we'll make it work. Okay. Now these are the final shots that I want to get. Nice and happy. I love that. Awesome. Now what I want you to do is I want you to kind of look down a little bit. And when I tell you, I want you to look up and out the window. And up and out the window. That looks amazing. Okay, so we're in Groom Preps. This is gonna be fantastic. I found this room. It's got wonderful natural light coming in. The only problem is I have this interior light that's tungsten, and I don't want a mixed light situation. So I'm gonna have Anthony turn off the light. And now I'm just dealing with the natural light. I've got the groom here, I've got the best man. This is only gonna take like 5 or 10 minutes. I don't need to be with the groom for 90 minutes, and they probably don't want me in here for like 90 minutes because they kind of just want to chill out, they want to drink, they want to do their thing. So I'm going to have the groom stand up, and I'm going to move this chair out of the way. I don't want any obstacles here. So a lot of times I'm coming in these rooms and I'm playing cleanup. So I'll move that out of the way, and I'm just going to check out the lighting here. And sometimes if the groom's not here right away, I'll use Anthony as a stand-in, and I'll just have Anthony positioned there. But in this case, I actually have the groom. This is great. So just stand right there. Look towards the window. That looks amazing. And I'm gonna check out and see how this looks in my camera. Right now I'm shooting with a 35. I really love the 35 lens for preps, both groom preps and bride preps. Really important here is gonna be exposure. This light is gonna be pretty harsh, so you wanna make sure you're exposing correctly. You do not wanna overexpose with his DSLR cameras. So I'm gonna talk to the groom. First thing he's gonna do is he's gonna be putting on his shirt. So I'm gonna have the best man stand up. And if you could just kind of help him get going here. Right here's his shirt. And here you're just gonna kind of bounce around. Hold on, don't put it on just yet. Here you can bounce around and just get a few shots of this little sequence here. And whenever you guys are ready. This looks great. I got nice tight focus. Okay, so I have about 7 seconds of that. What you want to do now is you want to kind of move in. I've got the wide shot. Now I want the medium and tight shots. Right now he's putting in some cufflinks. And you want to be quick here. This is all real time. All real time stuff. Now he's messing with his collars. Now I want you to turn towards the light a little bit. Just like that. And just keep working. Keep working, check your exposure. If you're fast, you don't have to keep asking him to redo this stuff. You can just shoot it live. You just have to be pretty quick. If you have to tuck those in, yep, this all looks great. Don't have him do the jacket just yet. I'm gonna kind of reposition here. And they got a mirror in here, so I don't want boring looking shots. Whenever I can get a really cool looking shot, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna try to look for something cool. Can you kind of back up into the room a little bit or move towards the table? Yeah, just come this way. Right about there, yep. Now he's gonna put on this jacket. I want a nice cool shot. And now I've got a cool jacket shot. And I got the jacket coming on, and now I can come in here again, and I'm gonna keep going. Just 3 to 5 seconds. And you can kind of coach him here. Adjust your collar. You're not gonna hear my voice in the final film, so if you need something, just kind of tell him. And now I want you to look down at your jacket, make the adjustments, and then look back out the window. And hold that. Now, maybe for the bow tie, how do you normally put this on?
Jacket off.
Jacket off. So, okay, you can take the jacket off again. All right, so maybe we'll switch things up, and I'll put on a wider lens for this. because maybe I can get a little bit of a silhouette shot when he's putting on the bow tie. So I'm actually gonna grab an 11-24 lens and I'm gonna shoot from down low. I'm gonna see how that looks. Okay, so you know what I want you to do? I want you to step closer to the glass, right there, and turn to your left. Just give me your side profile, all the way. Yeah, and a little bit closer to the window. Yeah, just like this. Let me see how this looks. I'll try for a little silhouette shot. And for the silhouette, you really got to make sure you're exposing for the brightest parts of the frame, which is going to be outside. So I'll probably just expose for the sky. That looks great. And then he can kind of just wait until I give him the command to put that bow tie on. And step forward a little bit. And go ahead and put that on. Okay, so I have the shot. And then just work that bow tie a little bit. And they generally take a little bit of time with the bow tie and the ties. So I have a little time here. If I need anything, I just have them repeat it. But you want to be pretty quick. So I've already changed lenses. I'm going to change my exposure because I want to come in here and just wrap up this bow tie shot. Actually, can you put that bow tie on one more time? And angle towards the window now. And I want you to back up this way. A little bit more. Keep going. Here, remember, you've got full control. The groom is here right now for you. One more time, one more time. There you go. Just make sure you have the shot. It's framed up, exposed right, and go ahead. That's a nice shot. 3 to 5 seconds, and now I can come in tight, and I can finish the sequence. That looks awesome. I can even jump back here while he's still working, and I can get a wider shot. And that looks great. 3 to 5 seconds, and just keep moving. Now he's buttoning. And you're probably not going to use all these shots in post, but you want to get as much content as possible so you're able to use the best shots in post. That looks nice. Look down one more time. And now look out the window. That looks amazing. Okay, and now he's going to put on the jacket. And hold on before you put that on. And go ahead. So I got a really nice shot. Jacket's coming on. 3 to 5 seconds. Don't get stuck there and miss all these other shots because as you can see right here, he's still doing adjustments. Keep going and now looking out the window. That's a great shot. Now, I'm pretty much done with groom preps. If you have time, maybe I can get a couple portrait shots of the groom just for the camera. Are you giving a gift to the bride today?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Are you doing personal vows?
Yes.
Have you written the vows?
No.
Okay, is it okay if I film you writing the vows?
Sure.
Okay, so we've got some great shots of the groom preps. We've moved quick, we've gotten all our shots together, and now we're gonna move on to the first look.